Today we're going to talk about thriving under high-stress environments, specifically in the kitchen. This is a trait that is essential for success for any chef or cook who works in a high-volume, fast-paced, high-stress environment. When I was a young cook, one of my strengths was that I could stay calm and focused in the most intense and stressful situations. I would actually thrive in those environments. Now, not every cook has this strength. In fact, most cooks really struggle with this. And it's probably one of the biggest reasons why most cooks do not advance in their careers. In fact, when I was working as a chef in some really high-volume, fast-paced kitchens, I would see line cooks literally shaking at the pass as they are trying to put out dish after dish after dish. They'd be sweating profusely. Some of them would even be crying. And a lot of times, I'd have to go up to these cooks and say, "Hey, you need to take a break. You need to calm down. You need to take a breath." But even when I was a young cook, I never really struggled with this. I always enjoyed that stress. I always thrived in that stress. That stress actually motivated me and pushed me to be better. Now, this is not to say that everybody needs to like being in a high-stress environment. There's a lot of great cooks out there who just get overwhelmed in these situations. But if you can learn to not only work well in these situations, but thrive in these situations, you will have an advantage over almost every other cook out there. So how do you develop this mental fortitude? How do you develop the ability to thrive in a high-stress environment? Well, the first thing you need to do is you need to understand that everybody has a breaking point. Everybody has a threshold for stress. And when you reach that threshold, you need to take a step back and you need to take a break. This is something that I learned early on in my career from some of the veteran cooks that I worked with. They understood that they needed to take breaks in between services. And they also knew when they were getting close to that breaking point during the dinner rush. And they took those breaks. They took those moments to step away from the stove, to get away from the pass, to get away from the fryer. And they took a couple minutes to themselves to either take a breath, maybe have a quick meditation session, maybe just walk around the kitchen and calm down and relax for a minute. Whatever it took to get them back to that place where they were focused and they were ready to work. Now, the second thing you need to do is you need to have a plan for the inevitable mistakes that are going to happen. In a high-stress environment, mistakes happen all the time. It's just part of the job. So what you need to do is you need to prepare yourself mentally for those mistakes. You need to understand that they're going to happen, and you need to have a plan for when they do happen. For example, if a customer sends a dish back, what are you going to do? Are you going to get upset? Are you going to take it personally? Or are you going to understand that it's just part of the job and move on? Now, when I was a young cook, I used to take it really hard when a customer would send a dish back. I used to think it was a reflection on me as a cook. I used to think that if a customer didn't like my food, then I must not be good enough. But then I learned to separate my ego from the feedback. And I learned to use that feedback to improve my cooking. I realized that if a customer didn't like a dish, then maybe there was something wrong with that dish. Maybe it needed more seasoning, or maybe it was overcooked, or maybe it was just not to their liking. And I learned to take that feedback and make adjustments so that the next dish I cooked would be better. Now, the third thing you need to do is you need to focus on your breathing. Your breath is literally the most powerful tool you have to calm your mind and to calm your body. When you're in a high-stress situation, your body automatically goes into fight or flight mode and your breathing becomes shallow and rapid. This is not good. You need to consciously slow your breathing down and deepen your breaths. When you do this, you send a signal to your body that you are in control, and this will help you to remain calm and focused. The bottom line is this: if you want to be successful as a cook, you need to be able to thrive in a high-stress environment. Now, not every cook has this natural ability, but it is a skill that can be developed with practice. So if you want to improve your chances of success as a cook, then start working on your mental game today. Start working on your ability to stay calm and focused no matter what the kitchen throws at you. And remember, everybody has a breaking point. Take a break when you need to. Have a plan for the inevitable mistakes that are going to happen and focus on your breathing. If you can do these three things, you will be well on your way to developing the mental fortitude necessary to thrive in a high-stress kitchen environment.